Keeps you young and hard.
Did you hear recording in progress?
Yes, we did.
Oh, you did? I didn't hear it. Okay. Must be working, maybe. Okay, I have no idea. I have no. I guess Beth, you're leading this meeting.
I think we're. First of all, I sent you guys all up the budgets. Does anybody have any questions on just anybody's departmental budgets that they presented last time? These have all been updated with their numbers. So this is pretty much,
We don't really need to go with the fire again, do we? I mean, the only thing was the wages. It's pretty standard.
right,
Well,
There's some,
More
I have some questions, no, just some questions on what you
the
said.
additional police.
what
What's
I
that?
sent you.
A question about the additional officers.
No, about, I've got a couple of questions
Okay,
on what you sent me. You increased longevity to 110,500.
that's what it is.
No, it's not. It's 65,500.
Is that the one with, did I throw that 118 in there? What's the 118,000 we're trying to decide where?
So you took 110,000 out of to pay for dispatch. I put it in general.
And
You
I
took it
took
out
and put it
out of
in-
general and put it out in low.
Below it, right.
I didn't know if that's what was decided or not,
Well, I kind of was wondering, I mean,
but.
there's
if-
room for it in Lowit and it's getting really tight in general.
But if that's the case, you put it in technology repair and maintenance, and I would need that in professional services.
Okay, well, I can change that. I
Yep.
didn't know what it was
Yep.
supposed to be,
Yeah,
so
be professional
Okay.
services also.
now let's look at the
But
longevity.
The
'cause I-
longevity, it says,
The account number for longevity, could you go get the longevity spreadsheet? Yeah.
Is it on your?
Well,
yeah,
don't look
there's a
there.
note here that says send Andy the spreadsheet with the details. I don't,
Right, and I have it, and I started to do that.
but
and
I've
then-
got it broken down.
Right.
I know how
Yeah.
much each person is gonna get. It should only be 65.
There must be something else in that. 110, you said,
Yeah,
which line item is it?
longevity
Oh,
under police department.
Oh, that's
fund.
just kind of,
it's line 52, 411060.
yeah, it's just you kind of,
Oh, no, I lied. It's
Well,
not true.
bear with,
Yeah, you're fine.
I must have something else. That's disturbing. Longevity, well, yes. Well, 71.5 last year.
Right, and it goes down this year, next year, 65,500.
What was that, 40,000 off? Yeah, 50,000.
Shouldn't be anything.
Well, I understand
But-
that. I'm just trying to figure out how I came up with 110.
Yeah, I don't,
I thought it looked odd too, but then I thought, well, there's so many people on
Unless-
$10,000 in there.
well, unless you
So,
just included everybody at 10,000.
no. Oh, we went through and actually,
Okay.
so I must have pulled the wrong number, sorry. So
No, you're fine.
it's 60,
65,500.
okay. Well, that's good news.
Yes.
All right.
And then in medical insurance,
Yes, I was gonna talk about that.
okay,
That includes medical, dental. It's gonna include vision this year. We're not gonna break out vision. And it includes Dr. Salt.
okay.
So that's everything that's in medical.
And short-term disability also.
Yeah, but if it's all paid, it's the AIM bill. So whatever was
Yep.
on the AIM thing is all in there.
So my total for medical insurance, dental vision, Dr. Full, short-term
Harry.
disability is 180,000. And I know you broke up the HSA,
HSA is broken out, yes.
but those, the HSA and medical only add up to 166.
Well, I used the AIM bill, so are we sure we picked up everything? There's life in that too. Basic life.
Right,
picked up a lot
I'm
of
saying it
things.
should be at least 181,000.
And I'm looking, I'm sorry. Oh, here it is.
Those two combined should be at least 181.
I wondered about that when I saw it going down, because I've had all the numbers I pulled from the AIM bill and
What I'm including is medical insurance,
dental, vision.
dental, vision, Dr. Soul, and short-term disability.
Oh, it's gonna help me. And there's an HSA 26 screen S under U.
HSA, you said?
Yeah, because you did, I thought you did that for me. It's an HSA 2026 budget. Okay. It's just your number, so let's just go with put your number in here and then we can
So-
always make it smaller.
The medical insurance line item should be 164,000.
Okay, does that
Instead of
include anything
149.
else that I'm not including? I mean, like the wellness benefit, that's a different number down below.
That's different, yeah.
Okay. And the HSA is broken out.
It's broken out, so
Okay.
if the 17,280 is correct for HSA,
Well,
Th-
now I'm
then
not feeling real confident in my spreadsheets anymore.
the medical insurance should be 163,720, I would just make it 164,000
Okay.
for the medical, just to make sure we've got enough.
Yeah, I might make it 165. We can always make it smaller. We just can't make it bigger. So I'm all for bumping it up to make sure we cover it. Well, then I need to go through, I want to make sure everybody else's HSA is right, and HSA longevity is right. Disturbing.
And then my only other question, and I know we talked about this, I think you added 30,000 in the technology repair and maintenance.
Yeah, where did you want me to put that?
Well, so I assume that's to cover all of the costs for like BSNA and true pay. Instead of breaking that out and putting in our budgets, can you just, let's say there's 4 departments and you put 30,000 in each department to cover that.
Okay.
Could we just take that 120 and put it in your account for technology repair and maintenance, and then that bill be paid from your office? That way it doesn't artificially inflate our budget by 30,000.
But that's not artificial.
Well,
I mean,
but
it benefits, I mean, it's partially all the accounting and all that we do with BSNA and
Right.
all the payroll and everything.
and I
So,
know, and that's part of the city hall's job.
right, but
And-
we
and
used to
folks-
allocate people's salaries to everybody.
What's that?
We used to allocate part of our salaries to everybody.
I don't know about that.
So,
But I'm just saying, if you're gonna, instead of putting 30,000 in my budget to help cover that, why not just put that 30,000 in your budget? And that way it just comes out of your budget to pay for those items. I mean, it's not gonna change the general
line.
fund total. Do you understand that, TJ?
no, I get it. I get it too. That's
And I'm
what,
not-
that's what
I'm
I did
not-
this year.
I'm not being argumentative with
No, I know
anything.
you're not. No.
Um,
That's what this is for. So,
Well, we don't know what we're signing a lot of times with that. Gary asked me that a couple lines too today, and I was like, I don't know, Beth spends out of that line, I don't know what it goes toward. So it makes it difficult for us to answer that quite like, I don't know what comes out of that line.
okay.
Yeah, it makes sense. And if they're answering for their budgets, they have to know what it is. So that's not something they handle. And that should
Well,
be
those
in
kind of expenses are basically overhead. So that's not,
and a lot of it.
they're not really responsible for overhead per se.
Right, we're not arguing that, it's just, we don't know what it is, so.
That's okay. All right, I'll look at that.
So with all that discussion, are we moving forward with a budget that includes 1 additional police officer or not?
Well,
That's not up to me. That's not
Yeah.
up to me.
and I
And
put in the budget as it
and
is
how
here
does
into the
the
DLGF.
council feel about that? Because I'm in favor of supporting it.
I am too.
I am
an
also.
additional
Sean and I-
officer.
I am too, except I'm hoping that we can cover, I put in 1 in the DLGF budget and we're able to fund it, but I didn't put in 2, so I can try put in 2 to see and what it does.
Well, I think one right now.
One is
Yeah,
what
I
we're
think
talking, we're talking about one this year, and if we can get another officer.
Well, no, I mean, I put the regular in
We
there.
are, we are
I meant
interested in
the
one
first
officer,
column.
one.
No, I didn't put in an
officer.
extra officer. I just did it as what he's got right now, so. I will go back and update the DLGF and see if it'll cover it. Cause it's pretty. Because it's all up in general and the personal property taxes, gotten cut, and then there's property tax cut impacts that affect all these numbers and they've given us like twice what we had last year just to try and estimate how much we're gonna lose. So we ended up losing an additional, because of 238, it was 118 last year. So so that comes off your property taxes. So I just want to make, 238,000, if it was 100 and something, how much does it cost per officer in total? I need to just come up with wages and benefits. I remember it's like 500, 1,200 or something else.
It looks like, the difference between the budget totals is probably $75,000.
I didn't bring the sheets from.
So then
last
that additional,
I normally do, but I have.
estimates for one plus.
okay. All right, we will.
John's gonna cover us.
I'll put it in and see what it does. Like I said, we can always make it smaller. So I'll go ahead and put it in and make sure that our general fund get funded. So I'm just nervous and jerky about the property tax and what's the other thing that the other thing that, well, the lit. There's a lot of things that are kind of up in the air on what we're really getting. So I left all those at the same budget as I did for 2025. I didn't increase anything on those revenues. Didn't decrease them either, but I didn't increase them, so. If we get more than what we budget. So I'm very conservative on the revenue. Try to be more close on the expense.
John's looking to see if he can see the numbers right offhand from.
I didn't see that spreadsheet, but you do have numbers here if that helps.
Yeah, this is the one.
Oh, okay.
Two, five.
It's interesting.
In the email? No.
Yeah, that's exactly what it says. in
That he brought
that's
extra.
2.5.
Are you talking about?
We were just
No, no, I'm
looking
talking about
for
one.
the, because you had the extra spreadsheets from last
The
time.
cost of an extra.
I think you brought
So,
They're in
The
this.
rest of that diet?
No.
They're in
I can
here,
pull off this
Amy.
one, maybe.
They're under the 207. It's got extra officers
I do.
in 1,207.
so this is what Beth sent me.
1,207. It's like page 6 or 7 out back.
Any additional offers?
It's got all the extra officers on it.
Plus one and
That's what I wanted, the plus one.
plus
Back 6 pages.
$78,000.
Okay, so $78,000.
They're in numerical order.
Yeah,
You see it?
according to this.
Okay.
Okay,
1,207.
and so that extra officer is incorporated into this budget, is that what you're
No,
saying?
let's see, over here to be incorporated. At the moment, the column that says 2026 budget request is what's in there.
Okay. Oh, okay, so but it shows in the 1,207 area.
Yes.
Okay, I see it.
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5 pages in.
Hmm?
5 pages in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Page. I just
Yep.
feel my papers and know how many pages it is.
72,000.
Is it the whole total? No. Where would I have gotten that number? I am so sorry. I'm just worried that there's something else in there that I'm not remembering, but it shouldn't be. It's in longevity, so I must have something on the wrong line, which is very possible. So I'll change that.
And
I show 62.5. What'd you say you had?
65,5. This is
Who do you have that I don't have?
each officer.
I know, that's what I did. We have the wrong years? No, okay. But yeah, we gave him extra credit for the extra years.
One you sent me, when I remember this earlier in the week at 65. The problem on this one.
I don't know what's happened to that
Sure.
sheet. Things got a little. Fix it, but I don't, Jane, could you compare these and just see who we've got different, who we've got wrong? We were very proud of that one, although the wrong numbers in here. Okay. All right, anything else, Amy?
Nope, sorry.
Okay, hey
Um,
TJ, did you get my email about perf?
Yeah, so you're gonna eradicate that line though?
Well, it's basically, that was a BSNA,
Right, cause we wondered why there was
Mapping.
two.
Yeah.
but we don't need that line, right? So
No,
that would save
no,
money
so it's,
in
I
that.
put the budget up, well, I calculated perf, but now I'm not feeling more confident, but we'll go from there.
And then we drop the social security line?
Well, that's for volunteer firefighters, so they have to have social security.
Right, but we dropped it. It was 8,000.
Oh, right, yes, we dropped the budget amount, right?
I
Did
don't
we?
know. It was 8,000 last year. and
Yes,
now we're
5,000.
Proposing 5,000 this year.
Yeah, we're at June, we were at 1,700, that'd be like 3,400 if you doubled it, so do you want it to only be 3,500 instead of 5,000?
It's up there. I don't know how much we pay in that. Like, you see more of that than I do on the wages. portion.
Right, it's a certain, 7.65 between the two, so, but if we're at 1,700 and you don't have any more, well, it just depends on
Right,
how many
well-
volunteer firefighters are out on a long run as to which, how much they get charged, so we can just leave it at $5,000 and, because it's fundable, and if we don't
Okay.
use it, but I'm sure we'll have to put it in a different line.
I think that's a good idea to leave it at 5.
I think so too. So, but I will move the 189.7 up to the 80, to the perf line. Did you see in that perf number 2,
Yeah.
197, it's gonna go up into just the regular perf line. Because that's the account that everybody's perf goes into. So we can just run that and look at it, and that's where TruePay puts it.
They match back.
They do that?
Yeah, Armstrong was on the other page.
Oh,
It was.
so he's not captured in the total?
No,
Uh-huh.
he is. Well, he could be.
Well, he can't be because it's
Okay.
62.5 there, and he's got 65.5. Okay. All right, so TJ, did you have any other ones?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Are you ready to start?
Excuse me.
Now to-
I have one clarification question though. So we are going to put it on the police department. We are putting it with adding one. Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Yep.
Good. Thank you.
yep. And I will look at what it does, the things, and let you guys know. It shouldn't really hurt it badly at all.
So it will be added into the 2026 budget request line, is what you're saying?
And the only line
We'll
item,
live for it.
there's the only line items that changed between the two was, the wages and the benefits, right? I mean, the wages and the perf and the, that's the only thing that changed between the two.
Yeah.
Cause did you
The-
change your,
The lowest is changed slightly, just at 5,000 operating supplies for additional.
you want that in lower?
That's in low. It's already-
Oh, I did,
it's already
okay.
in one
The
budget.
14, okay, yeah. Oh, okay, so that went down to lower too, did I drag it down to lower? 14, yeah. Yes, I did, okay, yes, you're right.
So,
Okay. So,
yeah, would that be transferred?
yeah, we've got enough,
Well, that's not.
cash.
40 out here, 749 is. That's.
That's not all the difference that is.
I see.
I've seen that.
Okay. So that's,
Do a little, you don't need to cumulative fire fund.
yes,
I-
yes.
I do, but I think, I don't.
That's just got the,
I don't know
that's
what
just got
we
the
would-
page payment
Yeah, I
for
think they'll
the fire
discuss that
truck.
later, Gary, but I don't know if we're changing that one. Or
No.
I don't know if we can do anything. with
We
that.
we don't have the cash to change it. We've got 450,000 in there, and we have to pay out 400, so I put 400 in the budget.
Right.
Have a little bit left over.
Right, but
And we're putting the rents in there.
As far as, changing anything about what comes into that, I don't think. we
No,
can
the only
change.
thing that we can do is we put in the rents. Cause it's
Is
not a
that-
tax back.
Is that already allocated? Is that already spent money or is that?
Yes, it's already, I mean, it's on that fire truck that's
Yeah.
finishing it next year.
The one that we should
26.
receive in
26,
June of next year.
That's coming up 26 to 41.
26 months.
That's gonna change.
But it's money that's already saved. It's not,
Yeah,
it's
already
not
there.
additional, it's not like we're asking for it out of general fund. It's saved in the account. It's sitting.
Right, no, cause I'll show you what I mean, when we look at
Okay.
what I do is I grab the money out of 2026, I'll put back out that 100,000, that will adjust what we need to find for the. It's fine, I'm just gonna figure out how we're gonna match.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I
Well,
took everything and I didn't know what we're gonna align it to, so I grabbed it all and said, here's what we are setting aside for things that should
right.
be, in theory, be capital. I'll watch. But I'll just tweak it as we go, this is gonna be dynamic.
but
Every
that-
quarter will.
it's already accounted for. We didn't have it anywhere else.
Right, but I grabbed it to offset
Oh.
these 2026 expenses.
Got it.
But we
I guess
didn't
the
have
only
that
question
fire.
I would have on that acute fund, Brian's brought that up, do we need to fund it more later? And I still can't answer
But I think we're gonna have to,
Well-
depending on where we land with
till he
this.
has his go wet, like.
I think we're close, but I'll be
Yeah,
able
I'm
to
not sure what,
distinguish that.
I'm gonna have to find out what kind of revenues we can put in there.
Right.
You can't just willy-nilly like pay it from parks or something because they have extra cash. Has to be acceptable to,
Yeah, we're gonna hit that fund more, I think, because we
and I
can't
don't,
low it
yeah, I know.
like we did. We can't count on low it like we used to now.
And, well, yes, you can. You guys just, you don't use it hardly at all.
But when he buys
They change.
a fire truck, it will.
No, I understand that. And I don't know what they put in the past.
Having a department head meeting.
We've been putting the rents in it.
On a normal year, low it had 300,000 to 400,000 extra left in it.
Blow it.
And it would,
Yeah.
it would accumulate to the point we bought the truck,
I got
Right.
and it
questions.
just worked out. But now we're using almost every dollar, well, we're using more than what comes in. Budgeting more than what comes in the low it, so we can't count on low it at all.
Well,
I
probably
think that's
not.
maybe what Gary's gonna be able to show us later, but we went from, having a $300,000 resource for trucks to now it's gone.
It's gone.
Well, I don't know what's in cash, but I'm. looking
Well,
at-
no, we won't get it year after year to be able to put down at the bottom of low it, like,
Right.
because it's budgeted out
So if you look at,
for
Got
heavy
it.
stuff now.
right, so if you put in
Trying to find that
what
stupid
TJ
thing.
needs for his
Goodness.
annual capitalization is $637,000. We have to wait $637,000 a year.
Okay, hang on a
To
second.
afford all the things in his
I need
capital.
to address your thing. Property taxes come
So
into
right
yours.
here.
Into the cum fund.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what.
And that's what Brian was asking, whether or not we need to adjust that to where more.
It's always the hard thing.
Let's go forward up.
Well, we have no choice on what comes in from property tax. They tell me where to put it, how much to put. I can't adjust that, but we also get,
Okay.
we get financial institution tax, licensed excise tax, we get some lit certified shares in there. So, and then now you get the rents.
At the end of the day, I think whether it goes into the capital truck fund or low it or whatever we do with it, we know the money, we're gonna know very quickly how much money we need to set aside to fund our capital. Now, whether it goes into that specific fund or someplace else, we don't touch it.
Yeah, I'm agree with you. I don't care where it comes from,
Well,
Yeah.
but you've eliminated a resource we have. You gotta figure out how to get it back.
Yeah, because it looks
Right.
like.
We won't rob it for anything else.
Right. And that's,
Right.
and
That's
that's,
why I'm a fan of increasing that and putting it there.
yeah, I mean,
As opposed to anything else.
I would agree with that. I just wanna make sure we know that the end number is. Was I get the number good? Well, we're gonna talk about the execute word, and how we align the budget
Yeah.
to make sure. Capitalized.
Yeah, unfortunately, as we found out, we can't commingle everything on all the funds. We can't have the whole big pot of just one account, which would be great, but we can't do. So we have to break it out. Now, the general fund is easier because we're only just one bank account and it just comes in and the general fund, we could put it all in one, but that was okay. We can move that around. But the other funds,
When it's when it's a legal appropriation for a specific, item, you still use it for a capital expense. We just kind of make sure we manage the money in a way where
Right.
hey, at the end of the day, we're setting aside 1.4 million for all the things for the city. It could be 10,000 here or 100,000 there, and 800,000. It's just a matter of where you stick the numbers in, but it's all got to track back to the capital plan. That's the methodology. Does that make sense? But I agree with you, the truck fund has got to be not that very trucks, 'cause that's, if we can add to that based on whatever the appropriation was.
looking at this, see, now we get about.
But if I'm not incorrect, Gary, you're trying to build that fund, so it's not just the trucks, it's major equipment.
Well,
too.
it's.
So like the air pack, when they come due,
Yeah,
are
wherever,
factored into that truck fund as well.
into a fund,
Okay.
the truck fund may be the right fund, I don't know that yet, but it's
Okay.
into a fund for sure.
And the hydraulic equipment was
All
one of the
that's-
big ticket items.
All that stuff's in the
We
same,
know they expire and we know we have to.
we gotta buy new
we
air
get big
packs in
packs.
5 years, let's,
Right.
that's.
No, you've
65.
got a good idea and we just have to figure out the logistics on making it
Correct.
work.
We gotta take the capital plan and then operationalize it year to year to year. That's the piece. We talked to Eric,
Mhm.
and he said, here's the 3 or 4 things we should be doing. So we just gotta, I have it mapped out. Just gotta sit down with Eric and Beth and say, here's how we're gonna Here's how we're gonna operationalize year to year, what is the capital budget plan? Does that make sense?
So,
And the more we can, to my perspective still is, the more we can commingle, the better off we are. So if we, like Lowit, I don't know if we can add to Lowit, but we can add to truck. I don't know how that works legally, if we can if we can add funds to that. But the idea is the more we can commingle, the more flexibility we have as a city to say, hey, you know what? Dwayne had a truck fire and it's down $300,000 one-ton dump truck, right? If his money set aside, we can't use for anything else, that's a little more difficult to manage for catastrophic events, right? So the more we can, the more leverage we have budgets as we move into the 10-year plan.
and I still haven't figured out how you get more money into these funds other than what the state tells you.
Yeah, so maybe we use a supplemental fund, a different fund for some of this too.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Split it up.
We just gotta figure it out. I just don't know the state
Yeah.
operation law well enough to say.
Well, I thought we could move it until Eric Walsh said, no, you cannot do that. I said, oh, alrighty then. So it shows you what I know. Okay. So anyway, back to specific line items.
Are we going from line to
From you
line
guys.
to start off with? Do we get to do our thing now?
What now?
Are we going from line to line on
No.
this? Oh, I have questions.
Well, okay, that's what this is for.
I didn't know what the operation, like, I went to the restroom, so I missed what your plan was.
No, well, we went through the line by line. They did the line by line when they came last.
Oh, okay.
So that's, and then they were supposed to send any changes and then they found some mistakes on my part. So we're just going through that. But I guess if you want to take the time and go line by line. Again,
Like fund by fund or something, I don't know what. we
I'd
did.
rather not.
That would be too much, but maybe fund by fund.
Two glass.
well, okay,
Good.
we,
Kind of unusual.
I just have a couple questions. I'm
Okay,
just
well-
waiting for the right process because.
Throw 'em out.
ask the questions.
Okay, so question on general fund, clerk treasurer.
Yep.
Professional services, 30,000, that's for all the extra. Okay, yep,
Yes, and now there's wanting to put all the repairs and maintenance in mine, so that'll jack up.
the technology repairs and maintenance, is that why that's? That went from
Well, that's
2,000
not,
100 to
it's
30,000?
a lot more than that. Yeah, they're gonna put, they want to put all the rest of them in there, so.
Okay. I anticipated it was what you had spoken about before, and then on.
And the reason why it's less than the budget last year is because we're not gonna have to repay for like the live streaming. I had to get an additional appropriation to get through all that stuff
Yeah,
this year, so.
Good question.
I remember you saying that.
Good question.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then for Board of Works. The Board of Works CRC transportation. The 40,000,
CRC Transportation Board.
that is 1,128 431,007.
Yeah.
Is that so they can buy a new vehicle? It went from 20,000 to 40,000.
I know we had an additional appropriation.
And that doesn't seem like enough for a vehicle, but
But
Wasn't a
we were wondering,
vehicle.
because it doubled.
It wasn't the vehicles. But there was something else that came through that I put in that account.
Because that's for the Council on Aging,
Put it.
the transportation, the transpo.
Well, you know how, you remember how it works and when you end up with not enough in one fund and you move it to another one?
So you had to transfer some
I'm trying to
money
think
into
what
that,
is,
so
but
then
I can look that up and let you know. I don't remember what's in that for the actual,
I
but
was just curious as far as like. what
well, I
they're-
had an extra, I had to get an additional appropriation, so I'm it's just running my, I think it might be the sidewalks, actually.
Oh, sidewalks for outside of the building.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I think it had to do with that and I didn't know where to put them because there's no sidewalk thing in there.
that makes
I didn't know where to
sense.
put, I didn't want to put it in the tree lawn maintenance, so I wasn't real sure.
That
So
makes
I
sense.
think I just stuck it in, I put it in. It's TRC transportation.
WKS is abbreviation for walks, street walks.
Board
Where are you?
Works, Board of Works, I think is what
Well, the
it.
Board of Works.
But it's the transportation, so transpo,
Yeah, so
That's-
a
that would be-
community resource center.
unless it was in the repairs and maintenance, which it doesn't really matter one way or another.
So part of the stuff that goes, you got the repairs and maintenance for the CRC, now the wellness center's in there as well. So, maybe it'd be just smarter to just put everything in repairs and maintenance, then we don't have to worry about where we're sticking it.
Unless there is a $20,000, Mark, do you know if they count on $20,000 for something?
Well,
For
they do
the-
count on, where's the letter? Here it is. How much did we budget for that? Let's see. Yeah,
20,000,
the 20,000.
so.
So, I mean, I don't know if they're gonna, I mean, everything's going up. Electric bills, everything else is going up higher, so I don't know if 20,000 is really enough. And then we have the wellness center as well. And we had all kinds of repairs on that, and that's why that got bumped up.
Yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, there was the gutters and, I mean, there's just a lot of things. So that's why I put the 145 in for 2026 as well. I don't spend that much, but we might as well.
Yeah.
Be safer than sorry.
I just wasn't sure if there was a specific. The other thing, hey Beth, on the council budget on
Yep.
1,135-435060 hydrant rental.
Those were for the water hydrants that we had to pay for the water company or water department for all the public hydrants, but this year it got added to in their bills, and so we got to take it out.
Okay, good. Why that's
So we
zeroed
paid
out.
it. That was a big thing on the, when they did the rate study and then used that as part of the,
So the council had paid for it previously, but
Yes.
now that is taken care of, so that's
but that was yeah,
A savings.
freebie, but it was nice. It was a nice loosening up of cash there, so that's why it's 108 or zero now.
awesome. That's great. Question.
And if you see the area plan office on here. What they're gonna do for everyone, that one is not one that we can actually change. It's based on a formula. To do with the building permits and all that sort of stuff, so we have to reimburse them for that part, so. The last couple of years has been close to 65,000, that's. Last year was 64,000, so. I figured it's gonna be close, but that's not one that we can say, hey, we're giving them too much money, let's cut it back, unfortunately.
Oh, it's based on a
It's some kind
contract.
of contract, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a very complex,
County,
Yeah,
we're splitting it.
yeah, and it's a complex calculation, and I've recalculated and had it wrong last year, but, I paid him the right dollar amount. So that's the only one out of this group, that's why I didn't have it on this group of things that we should talk about, because we have no options on changing that one.
so on public safety, so fund
Safety.
1410.
Yeah, 1410, that's lower.
Yeah.
Yep.
On the professional services, it went from 150,000 to 20,000?
So
Is that for you, Andy?
that was our dispatch fee that we pay
Oh,
the county.
got moved.
We're gonna move it to general. That moved it back to low, but put it in technology repair and maintenance. It should come up to that line item.
So which one did
to
you
the
want it to go?
Professional services.
Oh, I see it right there. So I see that one higher
Yeah,
and that one lower, so it got transferred into a different, okay.
Yeah,
That explains those two. Okay.
it just seemed to me that the dispatch was more technological than.
That makes sense.
But I'll move it up there for you.
Mhm.
It doesn't really matter to me.
No, I like what Andy just
As long as
said.
you
I
put it- No, I'm talking to Andy.
Oh.
It doesn't really matter when we put it, as long as you code it right.
Sure.
So you want it up in professional services, okay. So that's the 118, right? No, 118,
That's what you added to it,
or the
yeah.
148,
No, I think I
118.
had,
okay,
So you're moving that back up to 100 professional services?
Yeah.
Okay.
so that bring the other one back down to 100,000.
And the park did their own budget, correct?
What?
Park did their own budget?
Yep.
Okay.
Any questions in there?
Just things they moved around, but if they did their budget, then I guess they knew what they were doing, so.
Well, sorry, oh, I don't know if you guys noticed how high the insurances were. Mark would like to address that for us.
I did notice that, but I wasn't.
Whoa.
Yeah, it went way up. It went up about 50% with all of them. But we had a lot of, how shall we say it, claims this year.
Yeah.
Lots of claims.
I am, yeah, I anticipated that it was that, but I thought that's just something we really have control over.
There's a potential big claim looming now out at Peachtree Village.
What?
Water department was instructed to turn water off in one location and instead turn water on in a vacant location, and they're asking for $700,000 of damages.
Because of water damages.
It'll get, I'm sure that it won't be that high, but
Is there a risk that they'll
I-
drop
you
us?
know, I don't know all the circumstances of how and what happened as far as actions by the water department, but I don't know, have you heard any?
I know, this is news to me.
I mean, me too. Have you talked to Andy Perkins?
Peachtree Village is the big build where Kroger and all that is, and evidently one of the occupants of that structure was going to be leaving, so they asked for their water to be turned off. But
That did not happen.
that didn't happen, water got turned on instead in a different.
One of the,
That's the latest tort claim, but I think you got a copy of it.
Oh, is that what that was? Yeah, okay. Yes, I sent it to you, and I usually just send those right off to you guys, so I don't get involved until I
We'll
have
see,
to.
maybe there'll be some settlement, and like I said, at this time, I've asked for an update of the claim that I have.
so in essence, if someone chooses to sue the city, then it costs the constituents more money because it's taxes because of increase.
The increase of the
In essence,
insurance, yeah. Is there a danger that they'll drop us next year if that goes through?
What's that?
Is there danger that they'll drop us next year if that goes through? Because, I mean, I know it was tight this year because we had so many claims. Is that through this, or is it through Liberty Mutual, like the sewer thing was?
Well, it turned into it. They've actually put a financial number on the claim now.
Okay,
Claimants have,
okay.
so.
Should I up my budget? No, you don't know, okay. Well,
Right now, it's too early to predict what might happen.
we're gonna do an additional appropriation if it's not doing.
We get a better indications another month or two.
Okay, so anyway, I think you guys probably noticed it on your budget, it went way up.
Oh,
Liability, property, and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I was
Assume.
stunned, I really hit hard. So that's that was probably the biggest jump of anything. Was the insurance.
important when you need it.
Yeah, but then when you actually have a claim in on it, they don't like it. They raise your rates. Anything else jump out, y'all?
Not so far. The pool stuff, I mean, I'm assuming it was just silly things like chemicals increased. You know, just different little things like that they had
Yeah.
negotiated. So I'm assuming that they put time and effort into.
Yeah,
Figuring out what that-
Dwayne went through here line by line last time in park and street. So he was just put in what he needed and then just upped the insurance.
Cause they met the Thursday after we met, correct?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And he's about to say, I remember us sitting here going line by line, but that was the part.
Yeah, that was the
I'm
purpose.
so
Yeah.
sorry. Yes, you're
I
right.
remember.
Well, probably we should kind of go down there and see if there's anything that jumps out at you. The chemicals all went up.
I sat in on that. I don't think anybody on this panel has any knowledge of how they would adjust that.
That's what I was gonna say. I
We
mean.
don't, I mean, we can't really, I don't think we can sit here and question
What they.
the parks
decided.
budget because Dwayne understands it all. In fact, I suggested to Dwayne that he maybe approach things a little differently next year and kind of make his own adjustments, not ask for everybody's input on the adjustments. And present to the park board, here's what it is, here's why I think it should be where it is. Do you agree? But rather than spend the kind of time like we did I thought unnecessary. So I sat in on that. I mean, I totally trust the numbers. And I would suggest.
Spent a little time on 500,000 and how that's working out, because
I've heard the pool number is $1 million, plus the due, but coming out part this year and then moving.
It really
Come
all
next
came out
year.
this year. That's why we had an additional appropriation of 500,000.
Okay.
Where is that line?
And I see that at the very end there. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure, yeah.
So we bumped it down to 150 for next year for the pool.
Which line are you on?
I was on the 4420 on improvement other than buildings pool. Is that what you're talking about, that one, that 500,000?
There may be one there too, but I was looking clear at the end
Oh,
where you were at, well, talks about net revenues, appropriation, very ending fund balance, 500,000 gyration.
well, that's the sum of that additional appropriation of 500,000 from above, from that one line item. Because we had 500,000, we spent on $1 million. So we spent 809 right then, so I bumped it up to $1 million because I wasn't sure how much more was coming through.
Okay, so we did, so going back to 442011, we had 500,000 in approved budget and there was 500,000 more for a total of $1 million.
Because we already spent 810,000 out of that line item. And we also had spent it out of some of the other ones like equipment and the pool, but not the activity. I think it would be his capital. They have a capital fund, non-reverting part capital improvement fund. I paid some of the pool out of that. So we won't have those next year either. So we covered it.
So it's covered and at the end of 26, we should have 798,000 bucks roughly.
That's the projection, yeah. Increase to the, yeah. The ending fund balance will be 798, so. Okay.
I have questions on so the redevelopment.
670.
So when I'm looking at that, the money from the tip, where does that come in? Which budget does that come in on? 27
In redevelopment.
redevelopment? Redevelopment commission, that would be 2670.
Yeah.
So and that revenue comes in under,
It comes in on the fund of 122 is the property taxes, but it's TIF money.
yeah, but it's not because I saw the 180,000 in the redevelopment and then I saw 250,000 in the economic development fund. I was just wondering if
I believe the miscellaneous revenue was the sale, didn't we? Didn't they sell something, Trent, out in RDC? $180,000. Nothing to do with, sale something of land, I think, did we put that in there?
I don't think any of the land sale went to RDC, did it?
Yeah, well, we didn't get 180,000. That was what the budget was in 2025. I thought, well, something must be, we're gonna jump into that, but so far we've only got 3,600. So I'm thinking 180 might be overestimating.
Yeah.
It's like 125 went into the non-recurring park capital improvement fund.
But
That was a-
back up to the RDC for a quick second here, Amy. It looks to me like that the line item where the property taxes is coming in might have been the one as miscellaneous revenue before.
okay, because I
Because
saw
if you
the
look, there's no budget and the one at the top. On that top one, but when I get the Form 22, I mean, it basically said property taxes, so I didn't book it into miscellaneous revenue.
okay.
Not sure why we would have used that, but
Because in my mind, I thought the money that came in for the TIF had to go into the redevelopment commission, but I
It
guess
is.
okay.
that is. a
So you're
redevelopment
saying that's in,
commission.
okay, okay.
It's just the general ledger account.
It's just,
That I'm using and that's what it was the the June settlement that came on the Form 22 and it said, put in $195,782 in RDC. So I put it in the property taxes, but since it came on the Form 22, but that is, the TIF is related to property taxes. So that's why I put it in there.
okay, makes sense.
But I probably should move that budget up to that line, so thank you for pointing that out. Cause it looks dumb where it is right now, and then just no budget in it.
And then for the economic development fund, the 4270.
Yep.
I'm assuming the professional services went down because there won't be as many house projects and other, okay,
Yes.
makes a lot of sense.
At least
Same
that's
for
what it's
the
saying.
capital
That's
outlay.
what Trent promised me,
There's no promises, Trent says.
that our professional services are
problem.
gonna go down.
What?
I asked about the economic development funds, the professional services went from 250 to
100,000.
100,000.
Yeah, what about it?
We only spent 80 so far.
Oh, that could go down.
Huh?
Like, we spend a lot for professional services, how could it go down?
Well, she was, the budget for this next year is
Are we gonna
down.
be spending as much last year? You think so? Well, I asked you these questions. That's it. Now not the time for us to be arguing over this.
Probably won't be as high as it last year, I would think, but
But you could do an additional appropriation
if we have
if
to, but
necessary.
Yeah, that's true.
probably all these projects are off and running, so I would think most of the professional.
Kind of what we had
services behind us.
discussed. All these were pre-engineering costs.
Yeah.
And I just turned in, oh, that's the water, never mind.
Because it also went down for the capital outlay, but I guess you could always.
We've got 200,000 by next July on just the Rochester Crossing engineering. But that may be rolled through the GO bond.
Right, that's on the cities. I mean, that.
That's not on RDC, it's on the city side, if we do it that way.
Okay. Do it either. I just found out from her, so maybe we stick it in the general fund somewhere. They would have some, estimates. We had that meeting on Thursday. Did you get that email?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Sure.
I think I moved it down to 100,000 because we've only spent 20. But now why do we have a $250,000 budget if we're only at 20?
This year so far.
That was in June, yeah, so even if you double it,
How is that possible with all the professional services?
well, because they're not all coming out of RDC, they come out of grant
Oh.
expenses and things
Okay.
like that.
But we're paying Charlie out of RDC, right?
Yeah, but he's not coming out of capital outlay,
Oh, okay.
he's professional services. So, I mean, I can bump it up, if everybody thinks that's what we should do. Be conservative, but.
I mean, you're basically guesstimating because you don't know what specific economic development projects will come
I
in
covered Charlie.
besides what Trent was just stating, so.
Right. So. I'm thinking. Some of the professional stuff gets buried in the actual project. So like the McDonald Drive
Yeah,
project.
that's when grants cover those expenses.
So you don't have to put those in the budget. Just-
Yeah, although I would like to be able to put proceeds in there so I could actually put the expenses in there because it makes it difficult when it coming in. So. But that's, did you get the answer to your questions?
Yep.
Okay, good. Thank you. We're going through those. So we're okay with how they are in the EDC.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
it
yeah,
makes
no,
sense.
no,
I
no,
just
no.
was trying to wrap my brain around
Right.
where you were coming. Makes logical sense.
Okay. All right. So that's those line items. Now we have these wishes, hopes, and dreams here. From different entities.
And these are ones we've done previously.
Yes, they're all in the budget except for Vasia. The rest of them are actuals that we spent this year.
And Vasia, we gave them $5,000, correct?
Okay, but
5,000, Vasia.
that's what we paid before.
And we had talked about putting it in the budget, correct?
Oh, we don't know. That's why.
I believe that when we had that
Is that
discussion, that
non-
was February. I think we had talked about putting in 5,000 in the budget.
Okay, put it in then.
I don't remember.
That was back in
Got-
February.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have that one
I don't
in.
remember guaranteeing that one into the budget, but
I think we said we would discuss it at budget time and determine what we felt like made sense. Or at least that's what I remember the conversation being.
That was what we need to discuss it this year, and that's what we're doing. But everything else is in the budget in those dollar amounts because that's what we paid this year, so I didn't know if we wanted to, increase any of them, decrease any of them. That's why I put all of them on here so we can discuss them. Now, we committed to the VFW, I think that was
That we did.
several years. Didn't we do 5
A
years?
couple
with
of
them?
years ago, we did, that was a 5-year program.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So that's
year
in
we-
there. And
This next year would be the second year.
then second, yeah, I think it's only
Yeah, I
second.
think-
Yeah, because I've only been here 2 years. Duh.
Because, yeah, well, yeah,
Well, we did 3 in 24 and 3 in 25, right?
yes,
So this will be, next year will be a third year.
well, yes, next year will be the third year.
So it's a rolling
Fourth.
5 year.
Third year, yeah, that's 5 years.
And then the fireworks, we paid, that's a pretty random amount, 6,006.
Yeah, and that's what they asked for this year, and that's what we paid, so
We
you can
used
put the
to-
budget.
We Went in at 5 and then
Yeah.
the last couple of years they asked for an increase because everything's gone up.
Oh, yeah.
So
Fairly much.
I'm not sure what I put in for the Fourth of July. Let me see.
It's 6,625 is what you have on this.
I had 6,000
6,625 on this email that you sent.
But the-
on the email. That's the actual so far, but I don't know what I put in the budget. Let's look at the budget. The budget. Right,
Out of council.
I put 10,000. Because actually, we ended up spending 96.25. We had only budgeted 66.25. We paid 96.25. Oh, no, that's got the flags in it. I broke them out. That was why. I had the two of them together, so I broke them out so we'd know how much we were paying for each one. So I have 10,000 on that line item now. But I would like to break them out, so I could find another account, just have one that says flags and one that says fireworks, so we can keep that separate, yeah. And we got 10, so the 7,000 now is gonna be for the fireworks, if that's the budget for the fireworks right now. That's gonna be. I'm not gonna ask for more.
I think that'll satisfy them this year.
You think that's okay?
I'd
Okay.
leave it.
Right,
I wish that they were able to raise more money because I wish the fireworks would be a little bit. I
Well,
wish-
there is some discussions about some other options we're looking at.
I mean, the city shouldn't have to pay for all of it, but it would be nice if there was.
About which program?
Yeah, we don't. I think they
I think we
get
always share,
15,000.
Yeah, and I know they get more. It just would be nice if there was
yeah. Yay. Animal shelter.
Yep.
50 grand.
Is anybody clear on what 50,000 to the animal shelter does?
They gave us that nice document that you didn't think was nice,
Well,
or you didn't think it explains what.
I think that Amy explained to me, which the county's paying 35, which I didn't like the discrepancy, but she did point out something that they're paying
They pay the
animal-
animal,
how much you pay him?
I think it's 50.
So they're paying about $85,000 towards animal control or this. So we're paying 50, which
and
makes it
that's
a little more
countywide.
digest.
That's for the countywide side.
Right.
Countywide.
Yeah.
And I know the majority of their calls are city.
Yeah.
Most of it.
She did
Which
say
is
that.
what she broke down in that document with the pictures, which explained that I believe the costs were 75. I'd have to look it up real quick, that they had associated with the city of Rochester, because Trent had asked, they had the city of Rochester and then they had Rochester Township, which I think created some confusion. And
I just know, because I sit on the board, Council on Aging, money is just really tight to the point where they've had to hold payroll checks for a while just to make sure they don't pass a bad check. And I know I could be, I could go to hell for being anti-animal, and I am far from anti-animal. I love animals. I tend to love people more.
well, I think we increased the budget for the,
Cheap on dogs, but I can put all of them you want.
I was talking about the council on aging.
I know specifically that Council on Aging is going to go to the county and ask for 30, and they asked for that support from here.
Which I do think we added an extra 20,000, which Beth was talking about, the 20,000, because it went from 20,000 last year to 40,000 in the budget here for the transpo. That was one of the things I was asking about earlier, is that it doubled the amount towards transportation, had doubled in this budget here, if we understood it right. But that was what I was trying to clarify with Beth.
It is, yes, I did double
That's
it.
I missed. You have 40 budgeted for,
Yes,
So these numbers on this sheet here are just what we paid, not what it doesn't have the budget number. on
Right.
there.
Well, that was what the old budget was.
yeah, but the new budget for the Council on Aging showed 40,000.
Well, I just misread. I thought this is what we were putting in for next year's budget.
No, sorry, this is what we,
This is where this.
Okay, so the council on aging is gonna get twice what we did last year, 20 to 40.
Which should help with their,
okay,
But the animal shelter, you got remaining at 50, correct, for next year?
I mean, it's been at 50.
yes,
as long as I can
it's been
remember.
at 50.
and they haven't asked for any more.
Well, and Jane and I looked to see when that happened. We were trying to see if there was like a commitment to do it for the next 100 years or what it was, but we couldn't
You know,
find anything in the minutes.
I mean, I think that they,
It was
Yeah, I
almost
mean,
a
it's
year.
just a year by year.
It was a long
Yeah,
time.
we just-
ago.
yeah,
All
we
it's
just-
ever been with year by year,
Yeah.
But I-
so that we can,
I do think they've, by my request, have come in and given us a quite a bit more detailed report of what they're doing. And I think last year versus this year, it seemed like they've made a lot more effort to try and raise money.
they have. I mean, they've done, because I sit on that board, they've done quite a few things to make sure that they're putting their own effort in to raise funds as well, understanding that it's their responsibility. And after the conversation we had in your office, they want to make sure they meet expectations or exceed that.
All I was asking really with that meeting.
Yeah.
I wasn't anti-animal either, but I'm like you.
They may have taken it as anti-animal,
They
but it
did.
wasn't. Yeah.
We did.
well, and I know it's a big hot topic, because a lot of people give a lot of money to the
Mhm.
animal shelter. I
Yeah.
mean, in money and or food and or
time.
supplies and time. So
And I think,
I know it's an important entity.
yeah. But
What, did the numbers change for the youth center as well, or are we?
You know,
is the
they
only
didn't
one
even,
that changed the council on aging?
no, they didn't even ask this year for their money on
the youth center didn't?
No, they didn't. So I didn't know whether I should contact them. I mean, it's in the budget. I just don't know whether. I basically last year, as I was telling Mart earlier today, I was so deer in the headlights that I just went ahead and if she had $5,000 in there, I thought, okay, put $5,000 in it for the budget, so.
And I believe that though, they changed, the directors changed. So I wonder if Taylor, so it was Patience, Heisey?
Yeah, it was
Right.
patience, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Was I right about that?
Hey,
So it switched. So I wonder if Taylor doesn't know that
Probably
she's
not.
to
I'll
come and
ask her,
ask for the
because
money.
it's in the budget, and I was wondering about whether I should follow up with them and say, why haven't you asked for? all
She
the
just
money?"
may not know. I don't remember when the change happened. You guys remember when the change happened? For the change of directors for the youth center?
So do we want to leave it in there as 5,000 for next year?
yeah, with,
I would too.
Mhm.
So if they're gonna ask, then they probably, that's sufficient.
Did we leave this on here as well?
So what?
We paid Bozzy at 5,000, but we're gonna leave that at 5,000.
No, we didn't pay them anything this year. We didn't have them in the budget.
No, but they came and they
They
broke.
came and they talked about it, yeah, and so then we.
We
This summer,
approved.
we talked about it, or early summer, they talked about getting it in this year's budget.
Yeah, but we did vote for them to have 5,000 for this year, correct?
You must have it down here.
I didn't remember
Because they
that.
presented, I remember, Alicia
Yeah, that's right,
Sturgeon,
Alicia, yeah,
Sturgeon.
but,
She presented to the.
well, she did, but I don't think I thought it was for next year.
Oh, I'm confused. You got 5,000 down here, so we've either paid it out or it was in last year's budget, right?
Youth center.
No, the top one, the Vazia, the very top one.
Vazia, that's
The
the one that
Vazia.
you said that these were all that we had paid last year. I
Well,
remember doing that.
right.
in
oh
my-
yeah, we paid for
last year.
Vasia out of.
But I think
the
it was
They
this
did
year,
get their
wasn't it
money.
last year, right?
I didn't.
Oh,
didn't
I
do
don't,
it.
we did it
For
last year.
some reason, it came out
I don't
of,
remember.
it came out of Economic Development
Last year.
Corporation. I don't know why. That's where it came out before.
Did I overlook it?
Different now, but
The guardianship, yes.
This year
She's-
maybe, but not.
No,
not
she
all
did
the way.
last year
She did?
also.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
and we gave.
Okay, I
last
remember
year.
this year.
Because this year, the issue was, we didn't realize how much good they did. Well, as for Fulton County, they're just reaching into Fulton County.
Did that change now? They did away with seating.
Didn't away with seated.
I can't remember. I don't see anything on here.
Yeah, I didn't either, and I looked it up. Wonder where they got stuck. Well, at any rate, it was paid in out of seated. Vasia. So I think we should stick it up here like with everything else so that they're all in a clump together and we can find them and see them where we're paying them out.
So put it in the council budget. Is there
Yeah.
anything?
I don't think it should come out of seated.
Vasia.
Or we could put it in Trent's budget.
I don't think, I don't think compassionate healthcare should come out of seated either. But that's your call.
Well,
Cause that's economic development fund.
I don't see compassionate.
I know,
healthcare.
what's compassionate healthcare got to do with economic
Where do you see
development?
compassionate healthcare coming out? Oh, because I said.
I think it was there all the time.
Yeah.
That's why it was, but that
It's always been there. That's.
well,
why
last year I
thought
asked that question because I didn't think it had anything to do with economic development either, but.
Well, now it says other services RDP have been paid out of this as well, so
But RDP makes sense for, because they're.
I know that, but I mean, I don't know what this breakdown
Okay,
is.
well, I don't know. This is where it's been paid in the past. I'd be glad to change it. To me, it's like, it's a community-wide thing, you know, it affects, helps everyone. So it's not necessarily city. And it's promoting healthcare for everyone that can't afford it. So I mean, that's kind of my thought process. Change it.
See it anywhere.
Where's our Fedco line?
Say what?
That's in the,
View number.
what, maybe Michael?
No.
Well, he's not a. He's in professional services.
Back.
Do you know what number seated is, Beth?
4270.
4270?
Oh, what is that?
Hmm?
There's that one.
Towards the back.
Yeah, he's in professional service.
Just want
Try the next to the last.
Okay,
Next to the last.
next to last, okay.
So Trent, speaking for next year, do you think I should bump up the professional
Okay.
services on this?
Well, I don't know where stuff's being pulled out of, but I know Fedco's 110,000. I know what we pay Fedco's 110,000. But I don't know where all,
Let's see, 200? Question mark, 200?
no, it should be plenty, I would think. Yeah, we're not raising what we're paying Fedco.
No, I know, we're not raising the number.
No,
Okay.
it's, no.
Right. That is where he's getting paid out of, and then the RDP and other services. We can't, the RDP can't be paid out of the RDC unless it's a project, remember we found that out.
That's true.
Have
It
a-
has to
have a
be for
project.
a project and we have been paying them out of RDC and we shouldn't have. So that's why that should come out of the council.
Council,
Well,
Someplace
an
else.
RDC.
well, I know, I got it in EDC.
Okay. Yeah, if they have a special project, we have to have a, what's it
They
called?
have several special.
An MOU,
MOU.
Yeah.
That project.
Yeah. yeah. And we have an MOU for the head code, you right, Brian?
What's that? Yeah, well, there's.
It's like a contract,
I don't know, brought one to you or not.
because it's new every year.
I didn't know,
Yeah.
we had to
But
have
that is professional services oriented.
Or
MOU for.
For the head code,
Fedco?
head code, because,
Well, we have one from Mike with Michael, is that what you're talking about?
yeah, that's what I was asking, just because that was.
We did last year,
And that's reviewed every year.
it's an annual thing, and we update it.
I hate to go backwards here on the seated funds, though, like the guardianship and compassionate healthcare. I'm looking at that next to last page. Is that, well, in particular compassionate healthcare, since that's what we paid out, is that in one of those line items on that next to last page? Or is that someplace else in here? I'm just trying.
It shows up in other services,
Yeah.
Other services.
other services in RDP.
4310.
But we haven't, the compassionate healthcare is another one that hasn't contacted you, then didn't really call them and say, okay, you haven't asked for your money. These are all as of June, and the reason they have to be as of June is because the DLGF forces us to do that. So things have happened obviously since June and changed. So these things might have been paid, but we can't show anything else on the budget. So that's why I would do 630 numbers.
We need to call them and the youth center and
Okay.
get them paid.
I will, but I haven't yet.
I know, I said we need to call them.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Healthcare and
Yeah, I have a note for that. I'll call Compassionate Healthcare. Anyway, I swear that she asked for it and I asked Karen, I said, did we pay her? And she goes, I didn't know we were supposed to, so I'll look that up.
Does it make more sense to move it from seated to council just because it? I mean, is there?
Well, here's the thing. You just putting a lot. of
No, I'm
stuff
just
up there in
asking.
general.
I'm asking. I just,
Sounds like
I know
one
that
good.
was a question
I
we had
know.
last year, so I was just
Yes,
asking.
I know. Well, the reason why is because seeded gets money, a lot of money too, and it can be used for anything. The general fund, we get taxes, obviously, but they're gonna get cut, and then we had a lot of expenses in general. I mean, we got police and fire.
So you're
in there.
making, so it makes more sense. You're saying that it
That's
feels
a
more
way to-
comfortable
That's a
and.
way to use it somewhere else. Now, I'm kind of with you. I'd rather do it in general, but then.
I mean, if they
I don't
can-
want to cut off our nose to spite our faces here, and we end up, police and fire short because I messed up and put budget somewhere else.
I mean, if it can be used for that purpose, then.
Yeah. It's, because if you look down, I mean, we're pretty tight on our budget. And this doesn't include the extra police officer, so. Where's the final line item for 1,000? Comes down to.
So then by keeping it there, then you leave room in the general fund.
Yeah. See, if you look at the total on 1,000. The budget, I mean, we're eating into our unbalance. The budget we have now without the extra police officer, we're at a negative 1 million for which one? General. Now, the revenue is hard to estimate the revenue, so I'm a little conservative on the revenue, so. But
So when you submit that to DLGF,
we don't do revenue, you just do appropriations.
but
They
they're gonna
hate-
notice that, right? Or they don't
You
care?
know, well, if we have the cash to cover it, they don't care,
Okay.
which we do, but I don't like to eat in the fund balance that far. But like I said, I was really conservative on the local property tax, because if you look at 22, 23, and 24, it averages that we're getting $3.5 million in revenue. And we had 3.3 budgeted. So that's kind of close. We're at the 1,000,007, so if you multiply that, you're at 3.5. So you're gonna be a little bit over budget in revenue, which is the way you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
So just concerned throwing everything up in general and eating more into our fund balance.
There's nothing else that you could move down into the seated that would open up, not anything that's like
Yeah,
material.
the thing I hate to do about you using the seated is it's really good to use for the projects, all the
Yeah.
things that, we're doing. So the one department that seems to have an enormous amount of cash is parks, but we can't use that for anything else. So it's kind of like, I'd like to be able to take some of that in there, but you can't do that, so. We could have the parks buy some of our equipment.
I can change that right here.
It's a spreadsheet.
It was a
And
joke.
Kim is watching. If we are live.
I know, it was just a
Panicking at the
joke.
moment.
But they're
Actually, she's at the Women's Giving Circle, so she's not watching.
on what? 15-15. So, and 15-15 and 15-15 and 16-18, they've got 3 funds.
So the main reason for the negative is just.
Yeah, I mean,
Basically.
It's decreasing the revenue, actually not decreasing, but keeping it
You
pretty much where
were,
it
you
is.
basically took the revenue and were a bit more conservative with it. That's why.
Yeah, but not very much.
No. Which isn't very.
It's, yeah, I kept a lot of this stuff, and that's why I cut a lot of this stuff. But we spent a lot this year on things. I'm just gonna park right now. All those, all that revenue, like the live streaming, and we're converting our accounting system to the cloud, and,
Some of those will be one-time costs.
Right.
Correct. That
right, that's why I cut the budgets in those, but we spent a lot of money this year that ate into things that we weren't planning on, so. I'm hoping that with the budget we have for next year, even though it shows it's eating into it, that it really won't, because we probably won't spend that much in them.
So you
If you increased, so I think we're okay with the police officer. And did manage to the budget and try and keep it as close to the budget as we can, so that we're not eating into it. That's pretty much my idea.
That looks like scary sparkling water. It says no or dead.
But
This one,
which one, what one?
We're just talking.
we're talking about is sparkling water. So yeah,
Talking about this stuff.
no, we're having a side conversation.
Okay. Boys, want to share with class?
Just putting up your board with the content.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think there's anything else you
All
can.
right, so you want all these same things in there like we had this year?
Yes.
Well, that's what I want to know, but we're moving the resource, center and transportation, we're moving that from 20 to 40, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now what did we end up saying about the animal shelter? Leaving that at the 50 or?
This is the animal
I
shelter.
think we should and just closely monitor another year and see where they end up financially, and because their fiscal year is calendar year. See where they end up into this fiscal year and see what their plans are for next year. I think we need to
Okay, now.
hold on that one.
You did give a nice
And then was it the
presentation.
Compassion and Healthcare, are they the ones that did not all this year?
I think she did. I just, I think she got paid like in.
She presented.
She did.
Yeah.
I thought
I got a letter.
Very passionate.
Yes,
presentation.
and I got
I'm sure
a letter from her, and this is after June, so I need to check
How
with
did
Karen.
we
I
come up
may
with
have paid it.
15,000 on it? How did we come up with a amount? I'm
That's what we
kind of
paid.
curious, that 15,000.
Yeah, that's what we paid
is full
before.
amount.
I mean, this isn't the first year that we paid.
I know,
Compassion Healthcare.
but had to.
It's always been 15.
That night she came, we ended up on that figure. That's the figure we printed. I mean, I remember it was more than 10,
Okay,
but less than 20. And we ended up there when she came and presented. Now, which month that was, I don't recall.
It was in the beginning part of the year because it was somewhere around when Vazia was around the same time. I
Yeah.
remember. I think actually they were at the same meeting. I believe they were at the
Yeah,
same
they
meeting,
were.
yeah.
okay.
So,
And she may have been paid just recently, like in September here, because it seems to me I just got the letter not too long ago.
well, I know she needs it because I know that the hospital, I believe, due
Yeah.
to their budget cuts.
The only one that hasn't asked for their money is Taylor.
And I bet Taylor doesn't know that she has to actually
Right.
request that.
That's a youth center, correct?
Yes.
Mhm.
And the 50,000 for the R&M CRC and Wellness Center, that was just a shot in the dark because of the Wellness Center coming in at a lot more in repairs and maintenance than we thought it was going to, but there's probably some room there that we won't spend that much, but I don't, we
Yeah,
spent 145,000 this year.
I just, I just got a quote yesterday on the roof, on the flat part of the roof.
And,
Don't.
I mean,
We don't
is this
wanna know
enough?
that.
We don't wanna know.
I do want to
No,
know.
no.
Put a flat roof.
It was, the first bid was 46.
Holy freaking Lord. in
No,
heaven.
no, and
But-
my
That should take care of that building.
Is it a complete repair or replace?
house, the air conditioning, heating
Air
heating
conditioning.
there. 'Cause my brother said,
That's
oh
what
my.
that's what that is.
Oh, that's flat roof.
Yeah, no, that's what that is for the HVAC.
Every 5 years. They're in the process of being repaired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's just a flat roof and it's, Randy said it's, all new, done right. Shad
Oh, all
looked at it,
new.
would not quote it. He says, Buster, I don't even wanna touch it.
Chad said that?
Yeah, he said, I don't want the liability on it. He recommended 2 companies. We got one bid from one. And he said they're real good and they came in and I think the first bid was 46, waiting on the second bid to come in.
Have you looked at the
He said the
spray
rest of
foam?
the rest of the roof looked really good. The
Have you looked
gable,
at the spray foam flat roofing
no.
at all? I don't know who to call about it, but
Bryce did one.
It's $46,000 we
Spray
have to
foam
go
for a
for
flat
the
roof. I don't remember who it was, but the old
Yeah,
Eaton's
50
building,
those.
they
Yeah.
had to do that because they,
Right.
I walked
So
in
the
one day, the
thing that's
entire.
sitting here, that was our original budget, but we ended up with an
And he
additional
did spray
appropriation of
foam.
95,000, so.
It was
I should
relatively-
probably get a
145,000,
contact
so
for that.
It was
145,000
relatively
for next
inexpensive.
Year, so it'll
That's what I'm
do
thinking.
the,
Okay, wait a minute.
Makes sense.
On
Sorry.
the building?
the CRC and wellness.
So that first 50 was what we contributed in the purchase of it.
Well,
then
the
we
budget was 50, then we paid 90, and then I got 95,000 more because it was to come to 145 because of that, all that stuff that we were gonna.
We haven't paid out 140.
You're not
I'm saying,
that we had to increase the budget to cover. It's not exactly 145, but 145 will cover what we spent.
I'm saying there's 50 of it that we won't have to spend again because we bought the building.
Then we'll have extra money at the end of.
That was my thought. I mean, that's why, then when you'll have your $46,000 to do the roof.
Cause you increased that line item. That was one of my questions. And this $50,000 was
That was
in
what
that.
the original budget was, and then we had to
Check on
increase
And you
it.
spray
Increase
foam.
it
from
for
50,000 to
the
whatever.
50,000 was just for the.
Me
CRC.
not tearing it
They bought the
off.
wellness center in the fourth
Yeah,
quarter,
the
and
spray
it
foam
wasn't
is
in the budget,
I mean,
so I
it's-
had to get an additional
Yeah.
appropriation.
So this is the original amount
On-
in the budget. It's increased to like 145 because I had that question earlier. I was trying
Okay,
to.
so,
So I put 145 in this year, which we might not.
guy that owned,
Any, but we
no,
might if there's a.
did spray foam over here on.
And I don't know about the CRC building.
For sale.
We haven't really gotten anything from there that they're doing.
Yeah.
the
okay.
light-
yeah.
one with the light bill.
Yeah.
That building, I mean, it's in really good.
And Bryce Hardest.
Okay.
It's
We got a couple last year, we didn't get anything this year from them, so.
I'm gonna check
They're
into
covered
it for
with
the.
Insurance, right?
Isn't that Mark
Center
too?
was too? Okay, it's just a burden.
To give you a bigger one. I got a bigger one.
That's all.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to be sure. I didn't wanna find out later on that we didn't have one of them covered. So, okay, that's good.
Mark, okay, Mark. On that building, does the county pay for part of that as well? Remember that conversation when I was on the board? There was no
County doesn't
pay for anything from there. Cause I know there was a big question regarding like they determined that that was all the city's responsibility.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think there's a contract or lease or something that.
They had
I went
a
to that
question.
said
There was some discrepancy.
It basically said that it's ours. So,
A few years back, they
I-
did pay for a repair at the garage, but yeah. no,
But that was,
They're saying, no, it is.
it's all the cities. I knew there was a question, so it got settled.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
all right. Are we ready to have Gary talk about capital outlays?
Are you comfortable with your budget?
You just have to make sure you show up an hour and a half after we schedule because you waited.
I'm fine, no, it's good.
He thinks this is that he's listening.
Tell you what, better
Yeah.
or worse, I'm learning.
We have copies in here.
I don't, because it's still dynamic,
Okay.
right? So this is, so basically our last, I mentioned that, what day we meet this week? Wednesday? Today's, no,
No, we made last week.
no, we met on Monday, I came in, maybe it's Monday. Anyway, Monday, but based on our last discussion, I completely revamped the model to make it a little cleaner and clearer. Okay? So before we had it set up that we would line item it out, categorize it by year and then have it calculate. So this I made it a little bit easier. So what I've done is now pick on Andy again because he's always helpful. Wouldn't mind being the victim. I changed it out to really say. Whatever that is, I broke it down by saying, hey, this is the category, and I put tables across to show which year that expense would be incurred, totaled into column M with some notes and figures. So then what I do is I said, here's our total capitalized items by year. And then our total is one for Andy is over the 10-year period is 1.747. I average that across the 10-year cycle. So his actual capital request would be $174,000 a year. I added 3% and it'll all calculate up. So I'm going to change to 3.5 or 4 or 5. It just automatically calculates up. So actually Andy's annual need for capital is 1.79. I'm sorry, 179. Yeah, you got nervous there for a second.
Yeah.
Basically
Let's just give that extra
$180,000.
So that's money that he needs to set aside and you're trying to figure out how to set aside.
That's the
What you're
next
trying to
tab.
determine like.
So what I did then was I said, so if we take all of the things he's gonna do in the 10-year period, which means 2 vehicles per year, and retrofitting those vehicles, issuing new handguns in year 9, issuing new long guns in year 10, replacement radios, that's basically 3 per year at $2,500 each. That's why it's in every category, just working down across his expenses, what he's gonna have to align with to keep up with his mission need. Now, there's a couple of things in here. I still have to spend some time with Andy to get it wrapped up. The computer replacement equipment, is that gonna be in the capital plan or the operational plan? I put it in here, we can take it back out. We're basically done. I just have to do a reconciliation of where we stand between what's going to be operationalized versus what's not, right? So like in TJ's, we have an annual truck maintenance cost of $45,000. I can put it in here, or we can just put it in I don't care, just got to make sure it's accounted for somewhere. So there's still some flexibility. The thing that I liked about this new version was we actually can show exactly where we stand across years. So if the first year we capitalize capital planning of $179,900, $180,000, he's going to spend $146, which we carry over to $33,993 per year. Add that to our next $179,993 gives him $213. So we can roll it up every year to see exactly where we stand. Are we over or under budget? Are we saving the right amount of money? Make sense?
Mhm.
So I try to make it pretty straightforward, just simple.
You do this for every department. You do
Every department.
every water, sewage.
But right
Fire.
now, we've got separate accounts that have those budgets in them. So Gary and I were talking about just having one account, which I opened, by the way, in each person's fund for this sort of thing. And so if, let's say we have 3 budgets of one, each is $100,000, well, then we would just make those 0 and then put 300,000 in this one account at the bottom. So it's not like it's gonna be an additional on top of what we're already budgeting. So
Right.
I'm thinking that we're gonna come out pretty good.
Yeah, and I'll show you what that means. So then what I did was, and if this looks familiar to you this is Andy's budget. And again, thanks for letting me pick on this, sir.
Yeah.
So what I did was I grabbed, and this is so the numbers have updated since I grabbed this one. I'll just go back and recategorize. I said, okay, what's the budget you just looked at? What's in there that would offset his capital expenses? So for example, he's got an equipment cost he averages 96,721 for the last 3 years, but he's budgeted at 140,000 in 2026. So that in theory is already in the budget. Okay. So I went through for every department and categorized out what I thought would offset the capital expense. And I grabbed that I pulled it into Andy's tab for his 2026 request. Now, again, I got to go through with this and make sure I've got the right amount in here. Okay. So like here's his equipment, his $140,000. That's already in the operational budget put forward. So that would offset the $179,900 that Andy needs because it's already in there. See what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, once we reconcile everything out, we know exactly are we budgeting enough by city and by department.
So you are gonna budget, so you know then what to budget for each of these every year.
Correct.
Okay.
So then how does that help Beth? Does that help her say, okay, let's do 170,000
Yeah.
instead of this 140,000, right? So,
Yes.
and every year, then when you send that to the state, does that help out?
Yeah.
Or do
the
we still have
expenditures,
to
they
have
don't
all
real-
this?
No, they don't, they roll all of it up into 4 little categories and,
Okay,
This just helps with an accurate
it
budget.
just
for
helps,
what your
it helps
needs are
us
for
a
your
lot in
department.
accounting to know where to code things.
right.
Well, and
And
basically.
so then you don't have to mess around at the end of the year saying, oh my gosh, I put too much in the big equipment and not enough in the small equipment. Now I'm over and you gotta move this money. If we just have one account, it will make it so much easier.
And so we know exactly that when T is ready to buy a $1.4 million fire truck, we
Sure.
know we either have the money or have to bond it or figure something out.
So you have one fund, like you say, but yet you're still following each department's flow.
Right.
And we'll categorize it and we'll reconcile this and update it every year. So I'll give you a great example, right? So, and I'm gonna go to Dwayne. So Dwayne's, and I'll zoom this in, I apologize. For streets, right? His total capitalized amount with 3% is $201,000. If you look at what's in his current 2026 request, he's actually, again, I don't know that these 20 and 25 go in there. I'll have to figure that out. But he's already, we know his equipment is there. He's already budgeted at $300,000. That's $100,000 we can kind of figure out what we want to do with, right? I'm not saying we're taking it away, but we want to make sure we know exactly what each department needs based on their projected expenses. So some may be heavy, some may be light. TJ is always going to be a little, a little light because he's the biggest take, right? He's the biggest equipment user. I mean that in a bad way, but he's
Trucks are way
expensive,
expensive.
yeah. So at the end of the day, once I figure out which exact items will offset, then what it'll show as of right now where I stand. So our total need for the city is 1.544. If I have everything in here, and I don't have everything here yet, our actual offset plan is 1.562. So technically speaking, with what we have in the budget, we have already funded everything we need for the next 10 years on an annual basis. Again, now this is where the rubber's it's gonna get a little bit more sticky because I just got Marcus. I just got the water and sewer today. So I have, if you look at their tabs down here.
But see, the council doesn't, the water and sewer are utilities and they're
Right,
managed by other boards, so.
right. So like Parks is in here, water. So I've only got, the biggest, I've only had the first 4 years. So I have his today and I'm looking at his, I'll have to go in and pull in his offset amount.
So these capital funds, like she said, these capital funds, if there's excess, we can't really pull them over to water and sewer though, can we, in a capital
No.
purchase?
But what we can do is, it'll stay we're gonna have to divide out the cash that flows over the next year. And it's not like I can just say, okay, this cash is restricted down here. It'll just roll forward and still stay in the cash fund. And then you'll have the budget the next year. So you gotta keep track of like, okay, I've got this much money set aside out of this pool of money. So you can't really, if you have $1 million and 500,000 of it's supposed to go to capital, then you really only have $500,000 to budget.
So, but we can flex this, right? I mean, this is the best guess, right? Let's just say, like in this case, as TJ and I are talking about today, he's got a $1.4 million truck coming in 2029. Okay, that's the request, right? I can, if we just took that out of Lowit, I zeroed that out. That drops his need to 493. But let's just say I take that 1.4 and I pull it out to 2032. Now we're down to 637. So we can figure out where the right time to buy some of this equipment is, a longevity. So this is kind of a best case, but we almost have the ability quarterly to say, hey, we can't afford, and Dwayne's a good example. We may push some of this stuff out as long as the equipment, we don't have a significant need, right? Or there's no significant, the trucks are still running. We kick it out a couple of years, we save ourselves some money, but then we know where we got to put it back in. So we can save that 30, 40, 60, $100,000 a year based on pushing around the acquisitions.
So like when we're a worst meeting and they come in, hey, would like to consider buying something, we're gonna pull your thing up, so it wasn't a fit.
Well, and that's what they're gonna, really what they should be buying, with exceptions, should be what's on their spreadsheet, what's on their tracker. Now, there's, like I said, let's just say, Andy, we buy 2 police cars and he totals 1. Okay, well, maybe you have to add a third the following year. We just gotta figure how we pull that into the capitalization. Can we find a little bit more money out of the general, get some out of Lowit? Where does it come from? Well, we know Andy needs 2 cars a year. So if there's 2 cars per year, if he needs a third for some reason, we can figure out how we push that into the out year budget.
So this is then just for each, whatever year this is, you would use that as the starting point for the budget. So it's not a savings account like we had talked about, where it's a non-reverting fund and you're.
It is a savings.
It is a
account. We're
savings
setting it
account.
aside.
That's what I'm
Oh,
saying, yeah, but you can't,
Within its own fund.
right,
Correct.
yes.
Because the caveat with this is like the difficulty, I think, in practicality is with Lowit.
Yes.
Because all of our equipment comes out of Lowit and we can't physically take Lowit and put it in a different fund.
Right.
to Save it. So that's where the
Yeah,
But
because I
the,
wanted
when you
to
start
do that, and I
applying-
asked Eric if I could do that, I said, why can't we just set up one non-reverting fund and put it in there, and it's like,
but that would make sense.
right,
I
but let's just say,
I know.
That would make sense, right? That's
Yeah.
what we talked about. I was like, that would be the
Well, he
easiest.
said we could do it for the water and sewer because they're enterprise accounts, but because these are tax backed, we can't do that.
but again, I think the end of the day is, if we know the number we need to set aside for everything beside water and sewer every year, we know the number you guys need to manage to, right? It can sit 80% in Lowit, 20% in the reverting truck fund, 30%. It doesn't really, we just gotta figure out where we stick it in and manage it to this number. So it
So you
really
set it in
doesn't
different
matter.
funds and then you have this Excel
But you have to
spreadsheet
keep
that's like
track.
your.
But this is the way to keep track.
Yeah.
So I
exactly.
don't have to have another,
Right.
so that should work quite well.
Yes. So what we'll say is,
How often
Yeah.
is this report looked at? And who?
I've just been building it in the last 5 months, so it's brand new, but we will reconcile with the expenses
I
quarterly.
know, but moving forward, is it looked at monthly and
Quarterly.
numbers dodged and?
Quarterly.
Is that your job or is that your job?
Gary's taking it, and he'll teach me, but at this point, there's so many.
That's what he loves to do.
He loves to do it.
He's having fun doing this.
He is,
for
that's what he
free.
told me.
And
Happy to make him happy.
Funds a relative term, for sure.
Beth and her office and mayor
Yeah, so we'll,
on where the numbers are, where we
Yep.
stand.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
so when I sit down with
You and
each
I've already
department
been
head
talking.
quarterly, what I'll probably do is give a drive login and just do it on there so you can see it wherever it's at. 'Cause right now it's on my Google Drive. But we can just sort on the city server and then we can access it and update their own spreadsheet. So we'll look at it quarterly, right? So when they pull off capitalization, and the nice part about it is if in Andy's case, right, if he doesn't spend 30,000, right, we carry over 63, not 33, right? So we always tend to over budget a little bit, right? So this is kind of worst case scenario. That assumes we spend everything we allocate, right, which we never typically do. So does that make sense?
Money just stays in the account.
Stays in the account and rolls to the next year. Maybe we can lower that 179.9 to 165 in the out years.
Next year, yeah.
And then every year, we'll just add the next year in to pick plan 10 years out. So like in EJ's case, and I'll ask him to tell me where if I get this incorrect. I'll zoom this in a little bit. Like some of his truck purchases I only went out 10 years to 2035, but his truck purchase will be in 2039. So I just took and said, hey, that $1.4 million truck is gonna be this many years out, divide it out and say, but I'm gonna capitalize it across 10 years. So I'm gonna capitalize $1,076,000, not 1.4. Then every year we'll add that in to get to our year 2039 amount.
Right.
You're projecting a 3% inflation on
Every year's 3%. Now, the fire department, your truck guy said he should do 3.5.
That's what they recommended when I talked to them about it, but we don't, that's also a guess too. They don't know that either. They're just speculating.
So when we talked to Eric, he said between 3 and 5. I set it at 3 because I think that's pretty reasonable. Based on, I just did I went in Chat GPT and I asked a bunch of questions about budgeting for the cities. And they said 3 is pretty standard. More conservatively, you can go up. But so we can change it to anything we want. I just,
That's what Baker Tilly
Yeah.
recommends is 3%.
And is this like a dynamic document that you can see what the average increase of inflation is, and then you can,
I need to touch it accordingly.
Yeah.
And then like I said, once we do each department, so every tab by department rolls up to that front cover, which is summarized by city. So every time we make an entry, literally you can go into this and say, hey, this is, what I will do is I'll add actuals to this, right? So at the end of the year, we'll say what we actually did, and then it'll offset and roll up. I just haven't built the actual.
love it.
Are you gonna do the parks department?
It's already in here. Yes, sir. Golf maintenance is in here.
There's Dwayne's Parks, yeah.
Yep, there's, there's,
Maintenance, golf
yeah,
maintenance.
I have golf maintenance, I have, the pool, I have parks, I have, pool, parks and golf maintenance, and also then the Brown Barn is a separate category. I broke them out so you could actually see what, because I know, they want to buy a truck for the Round Barn, but that's different than the actual maintenance of the course. I split those two out. That makes sense. And then, like I said, I've got to work on water and wastewater, because what Baker Tilly sent me originally was only they only do a 4-year plan. I'm doing a 10-year plan. So this is going to screw like this. You can see they're way over till we get up to year 10, but I don't have all of it capitalized in. So that's just a work in progress. So we're getting really, really close.
And once it's done, send it to us. As a
Yep.
kind of reference,
Yeah.
because it's interesting, I just can't 100% see it, because
Well, there, it is teeny tiny.
I know,
I can,
we probably need to get some readers.
No, you don't. I have readers and that's the
You
same
can't
way.
still see it.
Yeah, I've got a.
I mean,
I was just trying
You can
to,
kind of go.
Magnifying glass this time. There you go. That's
I can
better.
make it as big as you want. I was just trying to.
Oh, there I can see it,
Right, the whole thing is,
Yeah.
you gotta get the whole thing.
but I like to digest it. It'd be interesting to kind
Yeah,
of follow
yeah.
your line of
Yeah,
thought
'cause
and.
I will admit that the reason why I
mental
had to change it
dysfunction.
was because I grilled him on it.
Yeah, you-
I don't understand this. and
It's
he's
smart.
not
I mean, it's
really-
very-
I'm
it's-
mistaken my formula. I said, well, that's not helping me.
Andy, it would be.
Okay, so this looks good, great tool. Boards that do not report to Board of Works directly and City Council, who's gonna ask the question, why are you doing this different versus what you got put on here?
So I will give this to the Parks Board and let them utilize it the same as City Council or Board of Works or anybody else. I'm doing it for the whole city. I don't, I'm on the Board of Works, I work for Trent,
Yeah.
but I'm just doing it for the whole city. They let that board use it as they deem appropriate.
Well, it's a nice discipline tool, or it could be used that way, and I hope it is. And I just hope that it carries through to all the other areas.
And I think,
But I think we talked about that sometimes, and that's one board that maybe does have more than anybody. They
Does
see-
what?
They see cash in the account and think, oh, we can do this, we can do this. But they're also probably the most well-funded.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that we have a strict plan rather than say, well, we're good in cash right now, but they don't really understand what all's coming out of that for the rest of the year, or, we don't want to make a cash decision, we'll make a plan decision.
At 1.2 million just,
Then you don't have to worry about
Cool.
unexpected things.
it was a surprise.
Surprise.
Well, I will
Well-
say, I had the budget at 1.2 million and they told me to take out the 400,000, and guess what? I had to go back for more. So,
And one thing that I see as a tool, and Bob, you're in the business of it, but if it's handled correctly, it can be a tool, and we're looking at it now with a Go Bond. Is how do you fund these long-term projects when you need to have things happening now or upfront costs? Like the engineering for Rochester Crossing Drive extension. That's just one item, but we've got several items. We got, pushing $2 million of things that need cash in the next 18 months. Well, how are we gonna do that? Well, these are things to help get momentum going, help get further development going, things that we can't borrow against TIF because we don't have the investment nailed down yet. Beyond, so once we get that rolling and start stimulating more investment, then we can borrow against TIF if we need to further infrastructure costs. In the future, further development in the Manitowoc Crossing area or of the industrial park area. But right now, we're asked to put up a lot of cash up front, so that's when a bond is good. I think the Parks has several projects they'd love to do. And because we haven't done anything for so long, it'd be nice to get a lot more of these projects, so I just met with Mayor of Peru 2 weeks ago. And they did a irrigation system, 1.4 million in their municipal golf course. And I said, you pay cash? Oh my gosh, no. He said, we funded it. You know, we put 1.4 million in our pool, pay cash. And that's a 15 to 20 year project, you know? So I think we need to look at these and think, well, how do we make our cash flow work? And is it a right time to look at a bond?
And I, just based on Trent's guidance, I have the exact same formula built for projects. I have the exact same type of spreadsheet. I just haven't had a chance to sit down with, so we can, you know, we were like, start chatting about it. So I built it. I just need to plug in the numbers and figures and calculate my farm.
And I had a meeting with Baker Tilly and Beth last week and talked about that, and they basically, I had it kind of broken down further than they wanted. But with our Go bond, we can use that money for projects all across the city. Where TIF is very specific area, but they said basically just need 3 categories, maybe 4, I forget what the 4th, land, 4, land, roads, water, sewer, maybe even storm.
Yeah, they said not to get specific, because then it ties you down to a specific project if you just make it.
Don't list the exact project where you could use X number of dollars and have 4 different sewer, just lump it all together under sewer. And that could be under economic development, you can use a Go bond for that purpose.
And you
When
have,
say go on.
General.
General
Okay.
obligation.
All right, I just want
Sorry.
to make sure that's.
General's the key right there, general obligation bond.
yeah, the city has a debt limit, and you can only have a bond up to your debt limit, and there's a calculation at what it is, and so ours is 2.8 is the debt limit for the city, so we could get a Go bond that high. We don't want to really take it all, but
What we found out was interesting,
get rid of
which
it.
we have no bond currently, but our rate was gonna drop from 0.93 to 0.91.
Tax rate, just a
Yeah.
way to keep your tax rate.
And if we bond and get it done before the end of the year, we'll hold that at 0.93.
The county does that.
So there's a reason to let these bonds work for you. So, and that's something that hasn't been looked at very seriously by previous administrations. And to me, it's a very valuable tool.
And you also the RDC can have a debt limit. They have a debt limit of 2.8. What was the other one? Was the park?
Yeah. Parks got
So
it.
actually, you're looking at more than 2.8 if you get them against different funds.
So it's things we need to look at.
So Gary, for the one on projects, so you are, what I understand, putting together just a general worksheet like this on the different stages of any project and what the costs associated with would be related to that. So if we have a project that comes into
We're gonna,
docket.
we're gonna list where we anticipate to be a 3, 5, and maybe even 10-year project. like we
Okay,
did
so
here.
we're gonna have specific projects that we're looking at, not
We'll
just
have
like
we'll
general.
have like, say, hey, we're gonna look at something in year 9. It may not be a specific named project yet. We're gonna look at development for whatever. You know what
Yeah, I mean, my big concern is the
Land
next,
purchase costs and
my biggest concern is the next really 2 years to 3 years, because we're gonna hit a period, and we're close to it now, where we're gonna take a breath. But we've got all these projects going, it's gonna stimulate further projects, and if need be, TIF bonds to further our infrastructure. Right now, we just gotta get some upfront cash, so honestly, we're looking about 18 months worth of a need, and that's pretty easy to lay out a plan for, and I've got most of it laid out now. We just need to get together and put it on a spreadsheet like that.
Grants in those and that stuff.
Well, an opportunity to put a grand amount in.
Well, like on that one line item I had, I put our portion of CCMG.
Okay, that's good, yeah.
That's on 1.5 million or
Yeah.
1.3 million, our portion is 250 or
and these are
something.
road projects and
Road,
housing
water, sewer.
projects, then
Yep.
water
So-
projects, then
It is literally the exact same Excel spreadsheet.
Just
Instead of
with
being
projects
departments, it has
associated.
Projects
That's
across
good.
the bottom
Yeah.
and pulls them up to the front. All I
Yeah.
do is copy and paste.
I like it.
I like it. No, you're doing that.
Thank you, Gary.
Any questions? Does this make sense? Is there anything I can do?
I love it. It's
Absolutely.
very, yeah, it's because how I do my,
If you have a recommendation on how to make it clearer or easier, I'm happy to.
I think it makes
I
sense.
think it's perfectly. I mean, I live by this kind of stuff.
Me
so,
too.
yeah.
That's how I do my own personal
Mhm.
finance.
So
we got a little work to do yet. But I think we're in a pretty solid place. So I'm feeling very comfortable where we are. I was pleasantly surprised our capitalized annual total on our 2026 offset. We're close. Again, we're not done, but I wasn't, $500,000 apart either, so.
I was worried about that, but.
But I was pleasantly surprised.
Thank you for your hard work. I mean,
anybody have anything else anywhere on anything?
I think this
Next,
What's our next step? Is-
October 7th.
The next step is that I have to put it into the budget or in the DLGF, and then Saturday, I have to release the notice for the public hearing, and then it's done. I mean, we can't add any more to
The
it.
public hearing is on the 14th. You had to change it to the
And I
14th.
had to have the 10 days.
Yeah, it had to be changed because of the,
So 14th at what time? 6?
not 5, 6. And then we have a regular meeting.
2 weeks after that.
Yes, and that will be when we adopt the budget,
But we need a quorum October 15th.
and on the 28th, which is the regular one. So we just need it.
Not the 14th.
I'm sorry, what?
So everybody else needs to be here on the 14th if we can.
I've got it done already.
14th? Okay. All right, well, we need 5 people then.
Okay.
Well, since we've got the numbers, I was just thinking that because everybody's got numbers in their equipment stuff that comes really close to that anyway, so I'm just gonna,
We can move money around without grabbing a reappropriation.
no. Not, well, I did make the general, I did make the account number thing and some of the
Oh,
other
no.
ones.
But it has to be submitted to the DLGF by the 2nd of October, correct? The final.
No, November.
No. Oh, well, what was the one that you had to,
That's this Form 3, which is this is it.
So
This is the
Yeah.
public hearing one. I did not realize that the date of the notice was the date you had to be done. I
so
thought
the
you had that
public
10
hearing
days.
budget is the budget that we have to work with. And that is
Yeah.
the 2nd,
And that's this coming
Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yes, and so that's the 10 days before we actually have the public hearing, when we, supposedly are looking at this budget for the first time. And then 2 weeks later is when we adopt it.
So that's the 4th.
The 4th, the 4th is the public notice,
Yep.
14th is the public hearing.
Yep. Okay.
And I did not realize that I had to have it basically signed, sealed, and delivered on the 4th until a few weeks ago. And then it was a lot of panic.
Somebody give me a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion. Oh, second.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.